Well, thank you for joining us. The issue of fire safety in Yorkshire's tower blocks took another twist today. Sheffield Council told the BBC it's launched an investigation after cladding removed from a 16-storey building was found to be a different material than the authority had asked for. Workmen began stripping panels from Hanover Block today. Residents have been told it is safe for them to stay in their homes, but they've been offered alternative accommodation, as Ian White now reports.
This is a job, we are told, that could last for weeks. A handful of workmen were on site at the Hanover House tower block today to begin the complicated job of removing the cladding that failed new fire tests. Bit by bit, it's all got to go. But while the work went on, Sheffield City Council was launching an inquiry after it discovered the cladding it spent tens of thousands of pounds on to have fitted was different to what they actually paid for.
By saying that wasn't what you thought it was?
Yeah.
That suggests somebody's put the wrong stuff on for some reason.
Absolutely, Toby, and it wasn't on our records at all. So that is the big question.
For one private landlord who's invested over £40,000 of his own money in the block, the revelation has come as a total shock.
We thought, oh, it's all paid, it's all settled, well, move on. And now they come out with a bombshell now, telling us, you know what, this is all rubbish. And I thought, what? You have done your homework properly. That's a joke. What they're doing now, that's a joke. Because this massive building probably need a good scaffolding, a good system. Just to, a good scaffolding, a good gears, a good sales equipment and good stuff. They've just got this thing just to show people that they're doing a job. Well, as you said, they've been working all day and they've got just 2 panels off. That's not serious, isn't it?
Hanover's cladding and what to do about it has sparked a political row behind the scenes at Sheffield Council. Officials on site today did not want to talk to Look North. One local councillor has been contacted by a number of residents concerned about how long the work will take.
My questions would be around just trying to get it done as soon as possible. Is that just like timescales as much help and support being given to the resident? Because that's what the residents just care about. It's like whether it's like, is it going to disrupt their school children going to school, work-wise, just day-to-day living-wise, how much of a disruption is it going to be?
Residents here continue to be told it's safe for them to stay in their flats. The council has put in place extra fire precautions and 24-hour security. Ian White, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Well, earlier I spoke to Douglas Haig, who's the Vice Chair of the Residential Landlords Association. I asked him about who's responsible for checks on these tower blocks.
The responsibility normally lands with the owner of the building, so the freeholder or very often the managing agent. So if the building's owned by a local authority, then it would be themselves, or it might be a private freeholder that owns it. And they normally employ managing agents to look after these buildings.
Sheffield City Council is looking into why material on a block of flats wasn't the material they thought it was. It's only come to light after tests on the Grenfell tower. How can a local authority or indeed a landlord be sure that the right material has been used by contractors, certainly material that's safe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting one, and it's something that is one of the big questions going forwards as to what's happened in Grenfell. When a building is originally built, then you do it under building regulations, and that's all analysed, and the materials that you use are supposed to be submitted, and there'll be very detailed technical specifications on that material submitted and approved by the local authority. Why these materials are failing is a very interesting point, and I think is going to be one of the major outcomes of the investigations that are going forward.
Do you expect building regulations to be tightened up as a result?
Certainly think that how the building regulations, how the technical specifications are put together, and maybe some of the materials are tested.
We're seeing, aren't we, lots of these high-rise buildings being stripped of their cladding. Who's going to pick up the tab for them, for the cladding to be taken off and then presumably replaced with something that's safer?
Well, the first point is that DCLG, the Department of Community and Local Government, have put forwards a testing regime, and it's really, really important that both local authorities, housing associations, private owners of high-rise buildings, those are over 18 metres or 6 stories, it's really important that they look at this guidance and they understand it and they take action on it on the buildings that we're talking about. Unfortunately, the tab is going to end up with the building owner, whether that's the local authority or in private ownership.
OK, Douglas Haig, many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.